Good evening. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. We came to see a band tonight. I don't think this is that band. And you're right, we're not. Sorry for the surprise, but we didn't get a chance to put in on the program at the last minute. So, we are Noticeably Average, a little band we put together. Our namesake comes from the fact that we were just made 5 days ago, and we play one song. So, tonight, by the grace of Greenwood, she's allowed us to play that song for you. So we're going to play a cover of a song called Riptide. You may have heard it, may have not heard it. Regardless, I think you're going to like it. So, here we go.
Scared of dentists and the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. Oh, all my friends are turning green. You're the magician's assistant in their dream. And they come unstuck. Lady running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. There's this movie that I think you like. This guy decides to quit his job and heads to New York City. This cowboy's running from himself, and she's been living on the highest shelf. They come unstuck. Lady running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. I just wanna know if you're gonna stay. I just gotta know. I can't have it any other way. I swear she's destined for the screen. Closest thing to Michelle Pfeiffer that you've ever seen. Oh, lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. And I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Oh, lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We thought we'd shake things up a little bit for this concert. Obviously, as you usually see for many years, you come and the band walks on and we clap and they stand up and they sit down and we tune and away we go. Tonight we're going to do things a little bit different. We will have that big band sound, but first what we're going to do is we're going to feature each section. So the saxophones will be over there, the clarinets are here, the brass is here, the percussion obviously is there, and the flutes. One of my big pushes, and what was really neat about this group is starting is that music is lifelong. And I'll talk about that with the seniors as well, that music is a lifelong enjoyment, and one of my hopes is to teach them to love music. Now, people are, oh, they're not playing their saxophones. That's okay. They're playing music, they're making music, and they're enjoying it, and they're loving it, and that is what I want them to do. And sometimes as well with this small ensemble stuff, that's what I want them to do. I would say 90% of them putting these ensembles together have been themselves. And so I am not going to talk in between, because you don't need to hear me talk any more than I'm already going to probably tonight. So we're going to just go right down the line. The clarinet section, the flute section, the saxophone section, percussion section, followed by the brass section. And we're going to do it as smoothly and as quickly and non-chaotically as humanly possible. So, first of all, can I welcome the clarinet section, please?
Like I said, smooth! Easy pay! Clarinets! It's a slice. this way. You won't fall. Yeah, like this far back. You guys can go.
It takes us about 3 minutes to set up the stage for full band. So if you saw somebody, you have to tell somebody something. We have about a 3-minute intermission before we add to full band. So stick with us. I have one more round of applause for our group ensemble. If you really think about what a band is and what makes a band is, it's just the flute ensemble playing with the clarinet ensemble and sometimes playing with the trombones or the trumpets at the same time. And so when you separate them, it kind of, you have to put your money where your mouth is and play your parts. And it's also, a lot of times, if you've noticed how many saxophones we have or how many flutes, a few, and so many times I say, flute softer, saxophones, you're too loud, in order to make a balance of the band. And so what is nice about a piece like Pizza Party or Turkey in the Straw is they get to play out and play their instruments, and they always don't necessarily hold back. So again, I'd like to welcome you to our spring concert. If you might read my little letter to the students and to the seniors, seriously, where does the time go? You know, I think it's May, Saturday. It's May already, and we're celebrating our seniors tonight. And to think that they've been on a 7-year, or we've been on a 7-year journey is always very bittersweet for me. And so it'll be fun to celebrate them tonight and talk about them and how their contributions were a part of our band. So we're going to start tonight's concert, the band portion of the concert, with just a really fun medley of Pirates of the Caribbean. of when you play in a band of 60 or 66 or something. But when you play in a band of 66, so much of what you do is moderated by what's written on the music or what I tell them to do. Is you're too loud, you're too soft, and so it's kind of like your airline controller sometimes. And sometimes that's really tricky, is that it can be really easy to become a paint by number band, if you know what I mean. Is that, oh, this color says 2, okay, we're gonna play, or we're gonna color it red. And well, what color red should we color it in? And with band music, sometimes it's very categorized and already laid out for you. And so a lot of times that's the hardest thing to teach, and hardest for them to realize is that what they are artists that create art with sound. And so the more, when they buy into that and when they realize that as a player, that's when we grow as a band. And that music, the fun part about music, just like any art, is the palette is clean, and there's many different kinds of music that you can perform. The first piece, obviously, very fun. I mean, you can envision Jack Sparrow in your head, and away he goes, you know, and all of his antics and things like that. This next piece we're going to perform is called A Basque Lullaby. And I heard this piece about 2 years ago. I heard a group play it. And it just absolutely gripped me in that it was extremely painfully beautiful, if that makes sense. And I knew that it would be something that our group could perform, but knew that out of anything that were performed tonight, this is by far the most difficult, because it's the most exposed and the most, there aren't enough paint by numbers in it, and so we have to create on our own. And I think about, and we talk about a lot, everything we play, what are you trying to convey? What are you trying to convey to your audience members? What are you trying to convey? If I just singled your instrument out, what are you trying to convey? And we have had, as our band, we have had a couple of tough years. And this piece to me is that painful love that we've created even tighter because of tragedies that we've had to go through. And to be able to go through it with these young men and women gives me peace, because and I tell them, sometimes it's awkward, and I tell them that I love them. And some of them are like, yeah, you yell at us all the time, and you're hard on us, and well, yeah. But I'm like, I'm kind of like your parents, you know, that, and especially, I'm the only teacher in this district that gets to do a journey for 7 years with young adults. And so especially these seniors, and as they grow, I do love them like my children, and I'm hard on them, and that's just what I do. And so this piece, I want you to listen, is called A Basque Lullaby, and it just is, I just want to dedicate this part of it to our band and how they take care of each other. A Basque Lullaby. All right, settle in for a little bit. It's my pleasure and my honor at this time to spend a little time talking about and dedicating a portion of our evening to our seniors. In this day of age of graduation requirements and jobs and everything else is going on, and the rigors of a band program, it is truly special that this group of people have made it 7 years in the band program, and the amount of time and effort that they've put into this program. I am forever thankful, and I don't think that I'll ever be able to tell seniors how much that I appreciate them, and as the band grows, how much I lean on them for leadership and to walk the walk instead of just talking the talk. So I'm going to call up each person as you come on up. Head that way. So the first person that I would like to call up is Samantha Reagan. She is a flute player. Sam's nicknames are Youngin and Sam Reagan. Her nickname Sam Reagan comes from last year. We had 5 Sams in the band, and I had to designate somehow, so she all of a sudden became Sam Reagan, and if there was just her in the hall, it was hi Sam Reagan, and so that's how that came from. Hardest part is staying in it and waiting for the freshmen to fully dedicate. Sometimes it takes a while to just get your brain around a little bit what it takes to be in the high school band and things like that. And she said that was, if she could do it over, she would try to enjoy it more and be more positive. What do you want non-band people to know? It's very family-like. You get to experience good times with people. If you could change one thing, I'd make band 7th hour instead of 1st. And advice to underclassmen, really try to enjoy it, focus on it. Sam, I appreciate her honesty. I appreciate her dedication to her section. It's been fun to watch her grow as to when she came in as a freshman, she would look up to the juniors and senior section leaders, and for her to really grasp that she is that person to a lot of her section now. I'm not sure she understands that. So Samantha Reagan, Sam Reagan. Next on the list is Yvette Guerrero. She is one of our color guard captains as well. She plays clarinet. She started out as a clarinet player, and then she decided band maybe wasn't for her, and then she did color guard, and she couldn't stay away, and so she had to work really hard to catch up on the time that she wasn't doing band, and she's done a fantastic job. If you know Yvette at all, she is the nicest, most patient, caring person. She takes her color guard people under her wing and is just as compassionate and as you can be with them, and we will miss that with her and her love and caring for others. Not very loud, not very boisterous, but definitely in her own calm way is a very, very strong leader in our group. Her best memory is Friday night football games and competitions. Make sure you know your part, and if you can't, fake it. Fake it till you make it is what I always say. What she wants non-band people to know, it's not easy, but I love being part of the bandos. Advice to underclassmen, don't give up. Band takes time and practice. Yvette Guerrero. Next on the list is Alexis Grimshaw. Alexis plays French horn, otherwise known as Lexi. Alexis came 7th grade from Coopersville, and I got a phone call, or actually it was an email from the Coopersville band director, and she's like, "Oh man, you're getting a good one." And most times when people move in from different districts, they play flute, clarinet, and saxophone. So she said, "You're getting a French horn player, and her name is Alexis, and she's a great musician and a great young lady," and that is carried through and through. She is one of the busiest people I know with dance and DECA, and she has a love for music that draws her back all the time. You can tell that playing her instrument is her reprieve, and that it's not work to her and it's enjoyable. And so I'm really thankful that Lexi has had that draw to always come back when really easy she could have gone on a different path. Her best memory is going to festivals. Her hardest part was dedicating herself to practicing. If you had a do-over, be even more involved and taking more opportunities to play her instrument. What do you want non-band people to know? Band is the best thing you can do for kids. They'll learn music and have a skill they can embrace their whole life. And if you could change one thing, not have band first hour. So if we say that maybe enough, and I can reiterate, that'd be great. Most mornings, this is what I get. And I'm like, come on, we gotta play musical, what are you thinking about? And they're like, I didn't brush my teeth. No, and so first hour is a tough hour to have band. Marching band season, it is dark half of the time we head out there, but if you play loud enough, the sun will come up. And anything else you wanted to share? She says French horns matter. So Alexis Grimshaw. Next on my list is Mr. Alex Burns. His nickname is Burns. Best memory, when the low brass section almost painted the field green. Hardest part of band, trying not to talk to Tyler. I can concur. What do you want non-band people to know? We're a family through and through, and family is always there for you. Biggest life lesson learned, that you have to believe in yourself. That's the secret. And his advice to underclassmen is play so loud they can't ignore you. Alex is, we talk a lot, Alex and I do. Or maybe I talk at Alex a lot, maybe. But and people might be like, oh, she doesn't like Alex. And I think Alex is a great, great young man. He just has the unfortunateness of having to sit next to his best friend in band. And they just talk. So he is a great musician. He is solid in his parts. He loves band. He is a kid that loves band, and he's going into the military, and I have no doubt in my mind that he is going to do fantastic in the military, and that he'll enjoy music for his whole life, and hopefully that he's learned some things in band and have taught some people as well. So, Alex Burns. Next up is Tracer Dykeman. He does not have a nickname. Tracer was our senior drum major this year. It was the junior drum major last year. Hardest part about being in band, pushing yourself every day to become better. If you can have a do-over, he would be more confident and not so afraid. Biggest life lesson learned, putting everything you have into what you do and never be late for rehearsal. Advice to underclassmen, stick with band, each year gets better and better. Anything else, once a bando, always a bando. Tracer is a kid who bleeds band. You can tell that he is anxious about leaving school because he's not sure how to go to the band room. He's like gravitational, as if he's in school, he'll go to the band room. He is as well a very solid, quiet leader who will help anyone who needs parts learned or copied or things like that. He is a good representation of our band when he was in front of them, and just a really good leader. Tracer Dykeman. Harley Bruflack plays Barry sax, and his nickname is Voltron. His best memory was the low brass chant. His hardest part of band was the dedication. What do you want non-band people to know? Is we only make it look easy. Biggest life lesson, asphalt is hot. And advice to underclassmen, be confident. Harley as well is a young man who has music in his blood. He plays his saxophone every chance he gets with a group. He and Alex Burns both went up to West Shore Community College and played in their concert band for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years?
Two. I don't know.
A couple. And every Wednesday night they would drive to Scottville to practice with this group, and it's quite a dedication. He also used to play, had a jazz ensemble that he played with a bunch of people from Grand Haven. So if anybody knows of a Barry sax that people are going to just get rid of, Harley needs a Barry sax after he leaves here because he can't take mine. Harley is always thinking, and he's always thinking about how to make things better. And there were a lot of times that we had two different ways of how we thought we would get to the same point. And I appreciate conversations like that because at least I know that they're committed and they're active and they're into win it and to do things like that. And so sometimes as well, people are like, oh man, there goes Mrs. Greenwood and Harley debating at it again. And sometimes that it just spurs ideas. And so I want you to always continue to think and to challenge people's thoughts and what they do, and you'll be very successful. Harley Bruflat. Player. Funny, his and Harley's were very similar. Hardest part, dedication. What do you want non-band people to know? It's a lot more work than it looks. Biggest life lesson, asphalt is hot. But if he could have changed one thing, he would have started on a different instrument. Which instrument?
Saxophone.
Which one?
I started on trombone.
Oh, you started on trombone? Logan is very dedicated to the band, and the band family is a very big part of his circle. And he was always just right there when you needed him to ask him to do something. He was very, very willing, in a good mood, kind of joking around, helping the mood to stay light. That he was very easy to get along with and to do things with, and so always enjoyable to have. So Logan Carey. Next up is Colin Williams. His nickname is Colin. His hardest part about band was remembering to practice his instrument. And if he could have a do-over, he would actually take his instrument home and play it, and maybe, just maybe, even do marching band for one more year. What do you want non-band people to know? Band is a great place to make friends, have fun, and especially make music. If you could change one thing, he would like the trumpet section in the first row because they're the most important section of the band. Advice to underclassmen, staying in band is a great experience and you should enjoy the time you have with everyone. Colin is always interesting to me because if you would, and let's talk about just kind of quiet under the radar. Colin Williams, if you know who that is. But he's also very witty and says some pretty witty, quick things. And so did you just do marching band 1 year? He did one marching band 1 year, and I'm like, it was not for him. And I thought, oh man, here we go, I'm gonna lose Colin. He's a good player, he's a great kid, man, but I think marching band might have sent him over the edge a little bit. And all of a sudden he shows up for concert band, and then he showed up for concert band again, and he's just this solid player that just enjoys playing his instrument. And is a leader, not necessarily a real vocal leader, but he's a leader, and people look up to his section, and he would be right there and right solid. Another one of his memories, and these kind of go hand in hand, is that his best memory was having a laugh and spending time with Colton. And as I look back to middle school, I do not ever see in my mind Colton without Colin. And just sitting back there and usually Colin's sitting there with a really funny smirk on his face, and Colton cracking jokes about something, not paying attention to what's going on at all. And so, but then Colton would, Colin would kind of like, you could tell that he would tell Colton where he was at, and then they'd pick up their horn and play again. And so to me, always I will have that duo in my head is Colton and Colin. And speaking of Colton, I have to tell you that I had we had an experience actually about 3 weeks ago. We had the East Shore Wind Symphony here, and they are an adult band based out of Standish, and they were playing this piece by David Gillingham, who is a CMU composer. And Doug, the conductor, started talking about this piece is dedicated to a trumpet player in this band that was tragically lost, and automatically we all kind of look at each other and we're like, oh my gosh, that's Colton. Now this song is for us. And it was just this beautifully moving piece of, and it wasn't all sad, it was happy, and it was loud, and it was crazy, and it was fast, and it was fun, and then it was beautiful, and just for a moment, we all kind of thought, and afterwards we talked about it, and we're like, there he was coming back to say, hey, I got you. So we think about him a lot, and we definitely missed him in our trumpet section, but definitely never forgotten. The other thing is in this piece, they sing this really pretty part, and they're kind of leery about singing. So it was also, I think, Colton going, you guys better sing, because she's not going to give up on you. So that was a really neat experience that we had just a few weeks ago to just remember Colton, that he's still here with us and got our backs. So sorry, Colin, that I jumped in with Colton a little bit, but I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you stayed, and we'll miss you. Colin Williams. Alex Perez, percussionist. His nickname is Alex. Hardest part is driving the band competitions. I'm not sure why that was.
I just needed something to put there.
He just needed something to put there. So, best memory was a band trip to Florida and Chicago. What do you want non-band people to know? Don't judge people who do band if you've never tried it. Biggest life lesson, don't be late. And if you could change one thing, not to have band at 7 a.m. And advice to underclassmen, practice and it will make your life easier. Alex, along with Harley, went up to West Shore to play with the group. And that level is like a junior college level group. And he just used it to expand his horizons and challenge him. And Alex is a really fine percussionist. And sometimes as a percussionist, you kind of hone in on what you really like. Like, I'm a really good snare drummer, or I'm a really good triangle player, or I'm a really good timpani player, or something like that. And Alex is just a very, very solid, well-rounded percussionist. And to be that, you also have to be very responsible. And that is one of the words that sticks out to me, and maybe not, but in his mind, but he is one of the most responsible young men that I've dealt with in a percussion section in a really long time. And knowing that I'm a percussionist as well, I know how chaotic it can be. And many times I just knew that if I gave something to Alex or told him he had to do it, I didn't second guess that it got done. And he was a great leader, and things just happened. So, Alex Perez. Tyler Dees, nicknamed Dees and Deezus. Tyler came to us from Reese Puffer, so he got a marching band experience much different than what we do. If you have seen the Reese Puffer band, they do some things much bigger than we do. They go and compete nationally, and he was part of that group and then transferred here. I'm not sure I've ever met somebody that's more passionate about marching band. He would come to me or send me messages all the time. Hey, I came up with this cadence, can we work it out? Hey, can I write this? I wrote this thing, can you check it out? Yeah, absolutely. And so he was always he's always playing music. He's always playing his drum pad. If you, if you're a percussionist, you know that if you put sticks in your hands, you will hit things. It is uncontrolled, and you just hit things if you have sticks in your hands, and that just is kind of how Tyler manifests his love for marching band and for music. He thinks about it a lot, and he thinks about different ways, or a lot of times he'll send me copies of different songs, and so it's been nice having him here for the year. Yes, about a year, came a year ago. It's been good to broaden our horizons for marching band type drum things, and that I just continue and hope that he continues to play throughout his life as well. Tyler Dees. I just want to mention that we also have a list of students that also are a part of our band, but not necessarily this marking period due to jobs or classes, or in a couple of their cases, they are just color guard members. And I wanted to talk about Aaron Burns, who is a trumpet player in our band, and wasn't able to take band this semester. Great trumpet player, great leader, and is missed this semester. So Aaron, thank you. Is Madeline here? Maddie, Meninga? Yes, no? If you are, stand up and clap so I can know. All right. Another one is Maddie Meninga, who plays clarinet. Wasn't able to perform with us, as well a really solid clarinet player who enjoyed playing her instrument and isn't able to be in band this semester. As well, Demira Panetta, flute player, and then Zoe Bauer and Vanessa Chavez, who both played a very important role in growing our color guard. So even though they're not here other than Aaron, can we have a round of applause for them? Not least is percussionist Bailey Harris. Bailey's nickname is Mel. Her best memory, meeting a bunch of new people and creating long-lasting friendships. If you could have a do-over festivals, it would be festivals where the band wasn't really prepared, so the process was a bit stressful. Sometimes that happens. What you want non-band people to know, band isn't easy, but it's an amazing way to learn life lessons and meet amazing people. Her life lesson is if you're on time, you're late, and if you're early, you're on time. Advice to underclassmen, don't give up even when things get tough. Bailey loves to play mallets. That is where she feels the most comfortable, and I feel the most comfortable there with her because she is very good at them. She participated in marching band 2 years, and then has come back for concert band, and it's always nice when she comes back, because she's always working on something to play, and is always very rock solid. Again, a leader in that section, not a vocal leader by any means, but definitely shows by example what's expected and what needs to be done in the percussion section. Another person that we can go to if something needs to be done or taken care of, Bailey was very much so that. Bailey Harris. One more thing before I give out some awards. I just want to talk about this group as a whole. In that in this letter, there's one thing that I want to just read because I think about it all of the time. In that, so much of our time is filled with stuff, and how do you create and manifest those relationships? And I try very hard to let them know that is, while our musical expectations are high and that is our goal, our number one focus is each other and taking care of each other. And what I think about a lot is with groups is what they learn. Do they have a love and appreciation for music? Will they continue to play an instrument? What are their memories, and will it stick with them for many years to come? Two that they shared with me is when they were in middle school, Yvette was in an instrument storage case, and Alex locked her in with a padlock. And she sat there for 10 minutes because he couldn't remember the combination. And she said she just thought the whole time of, am I gonna spend the weekend here? And Mrs. Greenwood's gonna be really mad. So, and that was one memory. The other memory that someone shared with me, Tracer shared with me, is that when I was absent, it must have been the only DVD I had in my room, but I had Happy Feet. And he said, but the sub would always start at the beginning. So he's never seen Happy Feet in its entirety, but he's seen the first 55 minutes 10 times. So I guess if that's what they take, I'm happy because they're both positive in that I still have Happy Feet, Tracer, and you can borrow it anytime you want, and you bet you did get out. So I'm happy about that. But to think of, I looked at my 6th graders today and thought, oh my gosh, those seniors, they were right there at that one time. And to watch them grow, there are times in the middle school that I seriously go, oh my gosh, they're never gonna make it. Oh my gosh, I'm never gonna make it. And then they grow up, and parents, you see that, and they grow up, and they all of a sudden are responsible once, and then they're responsible twice, and then they're these young adults, and just to know that you are always part of our family, whether I don't see you for 10 years or 15 years, you are always a part of our family, and I am forever grateful for everything you've done for us and for me and for our school. And I truly believe is that if you haven't tried it and you don't know what we do, you can't explain that. And that's the awesomeness of music and of that art that you get to create with that instrument. So, ladies and gentlemen, our 2016 seniors. This evening. The first one is called the John Philip Sousa Award. And the John Philip Sousa Award is voted on by the band students, and this award is a national award given to an outstanding senior that exemplifies musicianship, leadership, dedication, passion for music, passion for our school, passion for our group. And so when we do that, our band votes on who they think that exemplifies this. And this individual, I would concur to the highest level. They find themselves in the band room quite a lot. They are very patient. They are very helpful. They can be stern when they need to, and was kind of my right-hand man this year, and that award goes to Tracer Dykeman. And the second award I have to give this evening, I shouldn't say have, I get to give this evening, is the Director's Award. And the Director's Award is something of an award that I give to a senior member who I feel goes above and beyond what they do, above what beyond is expected, what they do in playing, what they do in rehearsal, outside of rehearsal, when they have conversations with their peers, and such. And this year's award, I feel goes to Alex Perez. Again, I'm proud of you. I thank you. I love you guys, and I wish you nothing but happiness and success.
The stage is there, I'm gonna fall off.
Our last piece is a riot. It's a piece that the seniors picked. And we played it for festival 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I don't even know what year. Freshman, 4 years ago. It's called Chant Rituals. It's by Elliot Del Borgo, and it portrays in my head. I see bonfire, I see masks, I see voodoo type things. It's pretty intense, pretty percussion heavy, pretty kind of scary, and it challenges us musically in many different ways. And I would like to dedicate this to the seniors and all of their memories and musical endeavors that they've had and will continue to do. Thank you. Chant Rituals.